Good morning. The Los Angeles Dodgers, your first place Los Angeles Dodgers, are being tested with 31 baseball games in 30 days. Meantime, the LA Kings answered the demand and have tied their first round playoff series with the Edmonton Oilers 2-2. Hi, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. I am back in another sleazy hotel somewhere in Nebraska. Nebraska, known as the tree grower state. But no dope heads, not that type of tree. Sorry. If you like the content we've been putting out for the last 2.5 months, by all means, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. Because we put out a new video between 9 and 10 a.m. every day to let you know it's there. Sharing is caring, let people know we exist, and yes, comment. For I am not God. Trust me. Jesus may have walked with the lepers, but there's no way in hell they would have wanted to stay in a place like this. The main topic of today is Dodger baseball and how this 31 games in 30 days stretch is going to test the mettle of the pitching staff. We'll get to that. But before we go there, let's talk scoreboard and notes. Yesterday, the Dodgers extended their winning streak to 6 games. They swept the Cubs. Yesterday, it was 7-1. They have a 1.5 game lead in the NL West. In addition to that, Jonathan Quick, 31 saves. Carl Grundstrom scored twice. And the LA Kings matched the first round series in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They defeated the Edmonton Oilers 4-0. The series will resume back in Edmonton on Tuesday. Marty Delgado scored in the 6th minute, and the defense held up for the LA Galaxy, a 1-0 victory over Austin FC. And the Sparks beat Indiana 87-77. The Sparks are 2-0. Today, meanwhile, the Dodgers will play Pittsburgh. That game will be at 3:30. So let's get to the news and notes. I want to start off by talking about a topic we had a couple of days ago. A couple of days ago, I ranted about how Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred and how he has this really unhealthy obsession with balls, right? Oh, the balls are too soft, the balls are too hard, the balls are too dead, the balls play too long, balls, 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 and this set of balls are just right. Right? Now, this isn't a Dodgers note, but the Mets players believe that Major League Baseball sneaks in different baseballs for nationally televised games. Yeah. Like that way, the ball goes farther, more home runs, it looks more exciting on ESPN. Now, I'm not one for conspiracy theories, right? You may say that's a crazy theory, and you may be right. My problem is not the theory. My problem is that when you micromanage things as much as Rob Manfred does, you invite these stupid conspiracy theories. That's on you, Mr. Commissioner. You need to stop micromanaging the national pastime. Making everybody look like a damn fool with these changes. Get off my balls. That's what I'm trying to say, Mr. Commissioner. Mentioned earlier how the Galaxy defeated Austin FC. Side note, defenseman Jorge Villafana, he is not going to play for the rest of the year. He hasn't played this year at all, but now he has had a season-ending injury. It is a lesion on the left knee, and now we pretty much know why the Galaxy picked up Chase Gaspar last week in a deal with Minnesota United. Also from MLS, LAFC. Now, I grant you, LAFC is at the top of the table in the Western Conference, but Carlos Vela hasn't scored in 8 matches. I'm not even trying to clown. Vela is a talented dude. What the hell? 8 matches? Note for UCLA football, the class of 2023, they've recruited a safety. Ty Lee from St. John Bosco. He is a 3-star recruit. So yeah, even for the Bruins, recruiting for next year is starting to kick in. Before we get to the main thing I want to mention about Dodger baseball, we have a boatload of notes for the Dodgers. Some of them Not that good. Left-handed pitcher Victor Gonzalez, he will have surgery on his pitching elbow. They don't know if he's going to pitch again this year. Maybe, maybe not. I wouldn't count on it. I worked in healthcare. I'd love to tell you that I know it's easy to recover from arthroscopic debridement surgery, but I'd be lying. I have no idea what it is. Relief pitcher Blake Trinan, he's back in LA. He's going to get an MRI on his shoulder because it hasn't been healing properly. And then Dave Roberts came out late yesterday and said, let's be real, Trinan, who by the way is arguably their best relief pitcher, he's out until the All-Star break, at least. On the plus side, however, Sports Illustrated is reporting that starting pitcher Andrew Heaney has been cleared to resume throwing. He had a problem in his left shoulder, but apparently it's starting to feel a little bit better. All of that underscores a main issue for the Dodgers in the next month. Granted, they're in first place. I'm happy. You should be happy. Having said that, LA is going to have to lean heavily on its pitching staff with 31 games in 30 days. By the way, it's not that they're going to play all 30. There will be one off day, but that'll be made up for with a doubleheader later in the month. It was supposed to be 31 games in 31 days, but Friday's game in Chicago got rained out, so they started this whole thing with a doubleheader. So how do you start that thing off with a doubleheader and all these other things? Well, they're going to have to start relying on people who are currently in the minor leagues or people that we don't necessarily know off the top of our heads. Like, for example, Clayton Kershaw started that doubleheader on Saturday, and he pitched 7 shutout innings, which was terrific. But in game 2, Tyler Anderson came in. Tyler Anderson, not figuring to be a major player in the rotation by any stretch. He pitches 5 innings. And therein lies a problem, because if you only pitch 5 innings, now you're asking the relievers to take care of the other 4. So Dave Roberts is going to have to get really creative. And he said that they were going to consider spot starters from the minor leagues in order to make it over the course of the next month. So I took a little bit of a look at some of these potential minor leaguers who might be coming up. The best of the bunch that could come up, number 6 overall prospect in the Dodger farm system, Ryan Pepiot. He's in AAA right now. He's crushing it. He's only got a 2.05 ERA. He's just flat out dominating. Now, scouts that I've been reading claim that this guy has the best changeup in the minors. His fastball, it's hit and miss. He doesn't always locate it right, but he definitely confuses hitters when he goes to the change of pace. So it's possible you might see him make his major league debut in the next month. 2 guys who are also in the loop who have made their major league debuts. One would be the number 11th ranked prospect in the Dodger farm system. That would be Andre Jackson. His claim to fame, he's got a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Now, he was still in the minor leagues back in 2019. He struck out batters at the clip of 11.1 per 9 innings. So he's a strikeout specialist. His issue, though, allegedly, according to scouts, he needs a third pitch. Mitch White, he just cleared COVID protocols. They expect to see him possibly pitching over the next month. Now, the thing with Mitch White, he did pitch for the Dodgers last year. I don't know how much of a future the guy has, and I'm not trying to clown him. He's just basically been back and forth between the big club and Oklahoma City over the last couple of years. In addition to that, Roberts says that first spot starter might come as soon as Wednesday. He did mention the possibility of Jackson pitching Wednesday. He did mention Pepiot, but he also mentioned Robbie Erlin. Now, Robbie Erlin is not necessarily a high prospect for the Dodgers either. He is a former Padres pitcher. He did make the major leagues with San Diego. Having said that, he's also considered a spot to stay with the Dodgers, not as a starter, but as a long reliever. Because right now, the Dodgers bullpen, we already mentioned the guys who got injured a few minutes ago. Right now, the Dodgers bullpen, it's a little ragged. They're getting the outs, but you don't want to burn out with these arms. Not in May, for Pete's sake. So Erlin apparently has a shot either as a spot starter or a long reliever. He doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, which makes him the antithesis of a typical Dodger pitcher. Dodger pitchers are known to go for strikeouts. But while he doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, he's very efficient at keeping the ball inside the yard, which means you're going to have a good shot at getting it out. The bullpen is not at full strength. Mentioned that a moment ago. Having said that, David Price has also just cleared COVID protocols. Now, he's not ready to pitch yet. He's got to get himself back into shape to do that, but he can be help on the way. Also, keep in mind, the reason that this is a challenge for the Dodgers, Walker Buehler and Julio Urias last year, career highs in innings pitched. So do you really want to stress those arms out this quickly in the season? Especially when you consider the fact that Urias has won 20 games. He could do that again. And Buehler is a potential Cy Young Award winner. So the Dodgers have their work cut out for them. We talked about the potential people coming up from the minors who could spot start. We talked about the holes in the bullpen. I'm not necessarily sure that the Dodgers pitching staff is going to continue to lead the National League in ERA. This is a big ask for these people. However, if they make it through this big ask, they've set themselves up for the rest of the year. So you tell me what you think. I want to make a weekly Dodgers update, right? This is our first attempt at a Monday Dodgers update. So you tell me what you think about the Dodgers pitching staff and if they can actually hold up by pitching that many innings in the course of a month. Now, if you enjoyed today's broadcast, thank you. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. It was a great Sunday. All 4 teams swept. Enjoy that. See you tomorrow.